Hi everyone, Cornay from Unlimited Tech Solutions here. Quick video for you today discussing how to get notifications if a workflow fails or if a step in a workflow fails. We have a client who's trying to copy values between two different objects. They're trying to copy values between deal and company, and they ended up with definitions between those fields being slightly mismatched. The problem with that is that the workflow just stopped working. Now, of course, it'll show up in the workflows with errors, but they didn't realize that the workflows had stopped working until a fair amount of time had passed. When I say a fair amount of time, I'm talking a couple of days, but a large number of deals were supposed to be enrolled in that workflow, and the steps did not work. So the way to receive notifications that this is happening is by finding the workflow that you wish to have the notification in. Find a place below the step that you wish to evaluate on whether it was successful or not. Go ahead and click the add step below that particular step. Then in the choose action side, select value equals branch. So if you click on that, you then select which property or branch. You can go ahead and select the branch. You see it's named one Kixi send an SMS. That branch is labeled. I'm going to go ahead and expand that. And I'm going to select this action's final success or failure result. And I'm going to click create a separate branch for each of the values in this property. Go ahead and click next. Now you'll see that this is suggesting some branches for me. I can go ahead and change the order of these if I so wish, but I would just accept whatever they have here by default. And of course you can have the no failure, basically no action has occurred, right? It was unable to evaluate that entirely. You can add an optional step there, not necessary though. So this one has 5 potential outcomes. There is succeeded, failed object removed from workflow, failed object continued to the next step, skipped action deleted or outside execution date, partially succeeded, some objects failed. So if we go ahead and click save on this, you'll see that it's added a whole bunch of branches in here. Success is where you would continue with your workflow if there was additional steps in this workflow. The failed ones, you will need to evaluate which of these actually matter and you need to know about. So partially succeeded is definitely one that I would want to know about. Action deleted for outside execution dates. Perhaps that's one we don't care about. Perhaps because we've set dates, we're okay with that step not running if it fails. Failed object continued to next step. This is probably one where I would want to receive a notification. This is just this step failed, but we proceeded to the next step. And the last one is failed object removed from workflow. I probably wouldn't set up a notification for this. This is basically this particular object that got enrolled into this workflow got unenrolled because there was some unenrollment condition that was met. That's probably fine. If you've set up an unenrollment condition, I don't think you should get notifications for that unenrollment condition having occurred. But let's pretend that we're going to look at the partially succeeded. I'm going to go ahead and click add a step underneath that, and I'm going to go ahead and find internal email notification, select who should be receiving that particular notification, in this case me, or which team should be receiving it. Failed. You can optionally add some additional details here if you would like to. I would probably add pieces of information such as who the contact was or who the deal was, or some contextual information so that you are able to trace back which objects in HubSpot were actually affected by this failure. And once you have this set up, I will now receive a notification if for some reason the Kixi send an SMS fails and the result coming back from that is partially succeeded, some objects failed. And as I said, just repeat this for whichever of these steps you do need notifications for. Don't do this for any steps that would occur in under default conditions. So the steps that you expect to have executed or that you expect to have fail, don't set up notifications. It'll turn into spam and you won't pay attention to any of it. I hope that helps. See you guys in the next video. Thank you.